Hey guys, so I'm doing a playthrough of the game Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. It's the boy version, the first one. So yeah, I've actually never completed this game from start to finish, so it's going to be very interesting because I'm not exactly sure what goes on in the later chapters. So we are going to start a new game and we are going to go through it together. He wasn't unhappy, but he did seem to have a direction in life. One day, I went to see him. I told him about the farm you left to him. Your son didn't seem to know much about farming, but he was willing to give it a try. So I brought him to Forget-Me-Not Valley. Oh, there's me! Your dad and I shared the same dream, you know. This land you see here, your dad and I found it together. It has old but strong buildings and some fallow fields. This is the barn. This is where the cattle, sheep, and horse lived. I'll show you the inside later. Next door is the tool shed. There's a tool shelf, and a few other things. That's where you store your tools. I put some tools you'll need on the tool shelf. I also put some seeds on the shelf. They're there to use. This is the food storage. Put dairy products in here to ship. I'll take it to the market in town on the following day. If there's something you want me to buy, just write it down in the ledger. This is the chicken coop, where the chickens live. These dogs must be strays. Looks like these guys like you. Do you want to keep one? So I always have trouble picking which dog. It's the same option in both games, the boy version and the girl version. I have such a hard time because they're both so freaking cute. I think I'm gonna go with the pointy ears. Okay, now give him a name. Usually I try to pick a theme for what I name my animals and what I name my farm and all that stuff. But for this one I'm just going to pick random names. Hopefully I don't forget any and double name something, because I know I've done that in the past. So let's name him Rocky. I used to have I still have a little stuffed dog, and his name is Rocky from when I was younger, so yeah, we'll name him Rocky. Alright then, I'll find an owner for the other one. I'll build a doghouse for the little guy later. Finally, this is your house. I fixed it up a little, but it's still not much. Oh, my house is... You can see my house on the other side of the food storage. That's all you need for now. Once you get going, you can build up the place. Oh yeah, come here for a second. I bought you a cow to get you started. Put the feed in here, and she needs a name. I tend to always keep my first cow just because it's my first cow, you know, so once she stops producing milk, you know, we get her pregnant again and we just keep on going and stuff. I want to call her Jenny. I usually call my first cow something like Betsy or Bertha or something like that with a B, but we're going with Jenny. Jenny seems nice. Jenny, a good name for our first cow. It's already been about 10 days since she gave birth. So you can milk her. She's healthy, so twice a day is good. That's about it. Oh yeah, you have to think of a name for this farm. What'll it be? This is a tough one too. I never know what to name my farm, because I also want to make it sound good, I guess. You know, you just don't want to name it anything random, so. Peace Farm, eh? Sounds good enough to me. Oh yeah, I should probably tell you about the people who live around here. I'm not so sociable, but let me introduce you to them. I hate that you kind of can't fast forward through this part. There's Tim, who runs the Inner Inn, his wife Ruby, and their son Brock. How should I introduce you? Oh, crap. Usually in the girl version, I usually play that one, and I usually just use my own name. Cody? Got it. And there's a girl staying here named Nami, too. Griffin runs the Blue Bar, where Muffy works. Vesta runs a farm like yours. Over there is Vesta's younger brother Marlin. Celia helps out with the farm work here. This is where you can buy seeds. You must be tired by now. Take it easy and rest. Just ask me if there's anything you don't understand. See ya. Huh? A harvest sprite I've never seen before. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? There aren't any other harvest sprites besides us. Who is it? Who is it? Now that I think of it. So who is it? Cody? That's it, a harvest sprite named Cody. Oh, I see. I'm Nak. Nice to meet ya. My name is Nick. Pleased to meet ya. I'm Flack. Pleased to meet ya. Aw, little rosy cheeks. A few days later. As you always wished, he started working on the farm with me. The beginning. So normally when I start playing, I just kind of like to try and get my bearings about me in the game and such. So first thing I'm actually going. Oh, you can't just save. You have to sleep. Oh, but I don't want to sleep. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we are going to go. We're gonna go around and. We are going to collect all these weeds because that is a good source of food. Oh, I already have one over here. Wow. See, that's something new because in the other version, you have to work towards this. You don't just get it right away. That is neat. See? Shows you how much I play this version. And the grass is never this long. You usually have to work your way up to the grass, but and plant it. But it's pretty good so far, so let's go in here, let's get this cow some food. And we're gonna milk her because I said we can milk her twice a day. Alright. And we want to talk to her. Jenny is just fine. So if you've never played this game before, Harvest Moon is essentially a farming simulator game. So you know, like he just explained, you know, you take care of your animals and you farm and you plant your crops and all that, and you have to make sure that all your animals are okay at all times. Your animals can get sick. And if they do get sick, then you have to give them medicine. And so that means, like, don't leave them out in the rain. When it's raining, make sure you put them inside. There's some times where my animals will be outside and I will be either digging or doing something, fishing, and I'll be further away from my animals, and you have to get all the way back over to your animals to put them back in the barn before they get sick. Usually if they're left out in the rain for a little while, they're usually okay. It's if you leave them, say, overnight or for the whole day and they're stuck in the rain all day, then they're gonna get sick. So see, this is different than the other version. It looks a little different. Oh look, you get the season and I guess your total money. Oh, see, look, in this one you start with nothing. Okay, see, I don't play this one very often, so in the other version you start off with you start off with a little bit of money. Oh, you do start out with money. Okay, perfect. Okay, makes sense. So see, here is where you would go to order. So you can order animals, your cows, your sheep. You can order, there's 4 different types of cows that you can order. You can order both male and female. Obviously, the marble and the star cows, the higher they are in price, the better quality of milk, or I shouldn't say the better quality, they produce different kinds of milk, but obviously if you're brushing them, if you're talking to them, if you're loving them, you know, you have to do all that stuff before you milk them to get the best quality of milk. Just because I just started, I don't have a brush, you know, I can talk to her and give her love before I milk her, and eventually, you know, it'll go from a B quality to an A quality to an S quality. The S quality is the greatest quality of milk that you can get. So then again, you can buy your sheep. There's just the one sheep, you know. You can't make your sheep have babies or anything like that. You know, well, it's funny that they call them both chickens in this one. In the other game they call them hen and rooster, but this chicken. Yeah. And then, you know, your miracle potion. That'll get your cow pregnant, and you can either do it, say if you have a bull, then you can use your own bull. If you don't have a bull, you just take your cow, and Takakura will bring his own bull and, you know, perform the miracle potions. So in here, this is where you would get your animal medicine, your bird feed for your chickens, and your good fodder. Your good fodder is for your goat and your cows. I usually give good fodder to my cows when they are pregnant, just so, they start producing better milk for when the baby arrives, for when the calf arrives. And then I honestly don't think it makes a difference, but that's just something that I like to do. And then again, I usually give them one good fodder, one regular hay, and then they're usually good. And I try to feed them twice a day. Sometimes if they're a little greedy, they'll try and eat all their food right after I feed them, and it's like, well, I just fed you, I'm not feeding you again. Yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of, I do have some money. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so for the spring, tomatoes, watermelons, strawberries, and potatoes are in season. Potatoes do tend to take a little bit longer to grow, so I usually wait until the fall time to collect or to plant potatoes, sorry. These flowers, I always tend to go around and pick them as well. They're also a very good source of income. These goddess drops, I believe they are 15 gold coins, so essentially like, $15 each, so it's pretty good. So hey, how is life on the farm? Just let me know if you need any seeds. You can buy them from anyone here. Just don't sell what you grow in town, because we don't need the competition. Ha ha ha. You want to buy anything today? Yes. Great, what'll it be? So you have a whole bunch of different seeds that you can buy. You also have to be very cautious about when you're planting seeds, because some seeds grow better in certain seasons. If you plant a seed, let's say we tried to plant a turnip seed, and if we tried to plant a turnip seed in the spring, turnips aren't good until summer through winter. So if we planted a turnip seed now, we would most likely lose that crop because it's not the proper season for it to grow. So, like I said, the tomatoes, watermelons, strawberries, and potatoes are good for this season. You also do have your tree seeds, so your peach, your orange, grape, banana, and apple. Tomatoes are always a good one. I already have 2. Perfect. How many do you want today? So if I have 2 already, then let's just get 8 and make it an even 10. 10 units of the tomato seed will be 240 gold. Are you sure? Yes. Thanks a lot. Come back anytime. Oh, she doesn't ask me. All our vegetables are organic, so they're good for you. You want to buy anything today? Great, what'll it be? So we're going to do some watermelon as well. How many do you want? Let's get 10. Will be 600G. Are you sure? Yes. I'm not too worried about spending a little bit of money at the start, because it will come back to me in the end with the crops. So, and the more quality crops that you have, they will they'll stay with you. So, oh, now she's busy, so let's go over to him. So let's also get some strawberry seeds. Oops, let's do 10. Okay. So again, generally, these are the toy flowers. I believe these ones are 10 coins each, so, or something like that. So some flowers are more expensive than others, but I mean, you know, they regrow every 2 or 3 days, I believe it is. So, you know, Van comes on the 3rd and the 8th of every season. So, you know, you can kind of stock up, and then that way when he comes, you just, you know, you have your stuff to sell him. And then, like I said, plants are a really easy way to make some extra money. Sometimes you have some plants up here. Sometimes along the sides you'll find some, I don't know if you want to call them weeds or plants or whatever, but I call it a food source. Yeah, so this is where you would go to dig fossils. You can do that another day. One thing though, if you are going to dig fossils, you can't dig fossils on the days that Van is in shop. So just be mindful of that when you're doing it. Yeah, so, you know, when I'm starting out, I just kind of like to go around, you know, collect stuff and kind of build up stuff, so it's easier for me to try and make some money at the beginning. And, you know, with it are these, oh, again, so these are goddess drops, so those are 15 coins, I believe. So just again, go around. Also, fishing is a really good source of income as well. Some fish aren't, they may be big in size, but they don't sell as expensive as you would think that they would. So some, depending on what type of fish you catch, those are the more expensive fish. I do like fishing, you know. I tend to do fishing if it's raining, if I don't have to be watering my crops. If it's raining, you don't have to water your crops. So that's when I'll try and go around and, you know, do some fishing or go digging or try and stock up on flowers and such, and go around and try and collect food. So, well, I guess there's no flowers. There's usually flowers over this way, but sometimes not. Yeah, you will notice that sometimes your character will get a little hungry, you know. If you're planting stuff, you know, he'll kind of stop and moan a little bit, and I find sometimes he's a big suck. You know, you can plant 2 things and he'll be grumbling already because he's hungry, and it's like, you barely did any work. You can finish before you can eat. So yeah, that's the only one kind of annoying thing that I found playing this game. Mind you, that was on a PS4, so I don't know if it would be different for this, because I'm playing the GameCube version. So plant up, and so what I'm going to do, so we're going to go over to our tools and we get our heavy hoe. He's a little slow too when he's doing yard work, so That's one thing. I never know if you're supposed to leave a space. I always just tend to leave a row in between, just so I make sure that my plants... Oh, see, he's already tired. Oh, see, yeah, he's exhausted already. So this might take a while. Oh, yeah, he's busy. So maybe what we'll do is we will do this last one and we will feed him. So then maybe he can get some work done. So we'll go back over to food. This mugwort, it's a little weed, but you know, it's good for food. You know, go back over to my seeds. Oh, right. I thought they were in my backpack already, but I guess they're in here, so I go get my other 2 seeds, so then I have 10. That's that other thing. Perfect. And when you're planting your crops, the further out you plant, the further away that you plant your crops from your house, the better quality of soil. I recently found out that it's better to plant your trees closer to your house rather than in the big field. I was always planting my trees in the big field, which I guess is not the case. So that is why I am planting these over here. And then I will plant my, let's see, and then you can do that as well. And then it'll tell you all the information on your seeds and such. So, again, let's do the watermelon. So now that they're all planted, we go into our tools. We have to fill up our watering can. So you just go over to your little well here. So with this watering can, it's just a standard one, you get 35 squares. You can buy the bigger watering can, which holds, I want to say the next one up is 140. So yeah, I like to try and water my plants twice a day. First thing in the morning. I find with this character he's a little slower, so I usually try and have my character go to bed around 9 o'clock, 9:30 at the latest. Then that way they usually wake up about 4:30, 5 o'clock. Then, you know, that way you can do your watering or planting if that's what you have to do. Then you still have time to, you know, get your eggs and milk your cows and all that before, where did she go? She's usually over here. Try not to water or milk them if they are drinking or eating. Oh, great, now she went to sleep. So, and don't wake them up when they're sleeping. I've learned that the hard way. We'll plant the rest of the seeds tomorrow. But yeah, maybe before we go to bed, let's order a chicken. Then that way we can start getting some eggs. There we go. Okay, so we get us a hen. Then that way we can start getting some eggs. You know, that's another source of income for you, so. Then you go to sleep. You can, so yeah, that is the start of our game. So, yeah, I'm really excited to do a playthrough of this and actually play this version from start to finish. I've never done that on this one, so I'm very excited to see what the differences are between the two games, and hopefully you guys will want to stick around and find out with me. So, hey.